So, without further ado, thank you all for joining. Now let's get started. Let's go. So the first thing, how to use Facebook to grow your business and ministry. I want you to all know that there is a template I'm going to be giving away for those who came to the webinar. You will be receiving a complete plan, a complete template to fill out your social media plan. Because sometimes, you know, we have things and we don't really think there's a necessity to plan social media, but it really is. It's really important to have a plan for your social media. It's important to know what you're doing and where you're going. So this template will be provided completely free to those who joined today. That's only for you guys. Nobody else will get access to that. So let's jump right in. A little bit about me. I am a social media enthusiast. What does that mean? I am passionate about social media. In fact, I'm passionate about media in general. I've been involved in media for the last 7, 8, maybe 9 or 10 years. I don't even know the amount of time. Time has just elapsed so fast. But I have been blessed to be a part of this whole media culture shift, this industry, and to see how we've shifted in social media. I blog for a couple of sites, Sociable.com, Social Media Today, and of course the site that I founded with my brother, who's the co-founder, Nathaniel Simons, beingencouraged.com. And we also have a great team. So shout out to Sonia, shout out to Manny, who also are part of the team. So I've been blessed to write for them. I've been blessed to be a part of, like I said, in social media for the last 7 years. I remember when Facebook was just open to just people that were in universities, and then they opened the door. I've helped business owners, churches, nonprofits, Fortune 500 companies, all with their social media presence. So I'm not a newbie. I've been doing this for a while, and I have a lot of information, some things you don't have to learn the hard way like I had to learn the hard way, that you can get straight to what you need to do. I also run Kingdom Business Solutions, which is an online marketing firm that's geared towards helping business owners, people in ministry, leaders, with their websites, with their social media, and their search engine optimization. Search engine optimization is basically how people find you. It's the most important thing nowadays in our culture. I also currently work for a company called TerraCycle, the world's leader in upcycling and recycling. If you haven't heard about TerraCycle, you should Google our story. It's pretty amazing how a 20-year-old kid took worm poop, the idea of worm poop, and turned it into a $20 million revenue business per year. So I help with the company's digital assets globally and domestically. So I oversee 26 countries, making sure that their social media presence is on par. We do not spend any money on advertising. All the money we spend on marketing is from the salaries of all those who do either social media or PR. So we have to be really good to be able to get this kind of marketing without any budget. So as you can see in this next slide, it tells you a little bit of the things that we've been able to do at TerraCycle and some things that we've been fortunate to help boost. We have 60,000 fans on Facebook. I remember helping to build this network from where it was to where it is now. We have over 29,000 fans on Twitter. We also helped to build that. And in various countries, overall in various countries, we have collectively over hundreds of thousands of followers and things of that nature. A little bit of awards and some acclaim. I've been featured, some of my work has been featured in Entrepreneur.com, Social Media Today, Hootsuite, which is the #1 social media dashboard for social media. They featured an article, how a global recycling company gained a community of thousands, the TerraCycle story. I've been featured by Dell Magazine for social business. I've been featured in Yahoo and so on and so forth. So I'm I say all these things not to toot or beat my own horn, but to really let you know that I'm serious about this. I'm very skilled in this, and I can help you. So a little backstory. Why am I doing this? I'm giving you the full reason of why I'm doing this. I created this whole thing because I've seen so many business owners, so many ministry leaders that are lost when it comes to social media. They don't know where to start, and I built for them. And usually the first thing that and the reason why I'm starting with Facebook is the first thing people think of when they think of social media. They don't think of Twitter, they don't think of YouTube, they don't think of, the first thing that comes to mind is Facebook. So I thought that'd be the first place to start. I believe that when you see a problem, one shouldn't complain about it. If you were part of the no complaining challenge that I instituted a couple weeks back, I'm adamant about not complaining. And one of the things I believe is if I see a problem, I better provide a solution. I better not just talk about it. So that's something I firmly believe. So this course is for anyone who wants to utilize Facebook in a better sense for their business or ministry. I decided on these two groups because I feel the pain points of these two groups the most. I have a passion for ministry, I have a passion for business, and it hurts to see business owners not understand simple things that they can utilize to boost their network or their presence. And also the same thing for ministry. And I also want you to feel confident that you can do what I'm doing and make an impact in your community or your business. I also want you to know that I have done this many times for businesses, owners, and not just myself and the companies that I've done. I've already been successful at it, helping other businesses do this and achieve it. So if I've done it for them, I can do it for you. I decided that I wanted to be a resource. I wanted to be a place where you can have access to information. I'm not just here to teach you. I'm here to hold your hand and walk you through the process and show you things that you would love to learn. And I really want you, I don't want you to take any of this information without applying it. I really believe that you don't need to wait till it's perfect. Just start. Just try and do it the best you can, and you'll be able to do it. So I believe in Mark Zuckerberg's motto, done is better than perfect. You don't need to have it all finished. You don't need to have it perfect. You just have to keep at it. Let's go. So one of the things you're going to learn, a couple of things, you're going to learn how to set up a Facebook page for success. You're going to learn how to setting up a profile from launch, how to develop a social media content strategy, and becoming a resource for people so that they can get your content. You're going to learn 7 types of content you can create today, how to grow your fan page rapidly, understanding the purpose of your page, the 3 proven strategies that will grow your page, and free tools you can use to make managing a Facebook page easy. So without further ado, I know I've been saying without further ado, I'm going to do it, I'm going to launch, but now we're really about to do it. Okay? So I want you to, I'm going to close this so you can now see my screen. Actually, I'm going to share a couple of facts, and then we'll get into what I see on my screen here. So almost 58 million Americans use social sites daily. This is important to know because it's steadily growing. It hasn't decreased. It's going to continue to increase. Many people are using Facebook and social media at a rapid rate. So if they're using it and your business and ministry wants to reach these people, you need to know where they are. So look at this really interesting stat that this blows my mind every time. Social media, people say social media is a fad, it's going to go away. It's like, you know, bell-bottom jeans. It's going to leave. No. Social media is here to stay. The networks and the platforms may change, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these things may change, but it's not going anywhere. Look at radio. It took 38 years for radio to reach 50 million people. It took TV about 12 years to reach 50 million people. It took the internet itself it took 4 years to reach 50 million people. The iPod, about 2 years to reach 50 million people. And Facebook took about 6 months to reach 50 million people. That tells you that Facebook and social media is a medium. You got to look at it as radio, as TV, as internet, because that's how effective it is. It's not just a network, it's a medium. Some more facts. 78% of consumers trust peer recommendations. Only 14% trust advertising. What does this mean to you and your ministry and your business? They're not going to trust ads anymore. People are going to trust content. They're going to trust blogs. They're going to trust information and tweets and Facebook. 36% of social media users post brand-related content. 50% of people follow brands in social media. And 41% of the class of 2011 use social media in their job search. So it's changing the whole landscape. 38% of CEOs label social media as a high priority, and 57% of businesses plan to hike their social media spend in 2013. 1 in 3 small businesses are now using social media. Question is, why aren't you? You need to use it. You have it at your disposal. It doesn't cost you much money. You can do this. Facebook has over 1 billion users worldwide. There are over 1 billion Facebook posts per day. Can you imagine that? 1 billion people are talking every single day on this network. And is your Facebook page set up? Are you attracting these people? Are you getting to this congregation, I said, this ministry field or this business environment, this market? There are 2.7 billion likes, comments, and shares per day. There are 250 million photos uploaded each day. So step one, how to build a Facebook page. We're starting from the ground because I believe that this is what you're going to need to see. I want you to really have an option here to have the ability to do everything that I'm doing. I don't want you to not have this ability. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and you'll be able to get everything. So once you guys get a chance, I want you to let me know when you can see my screen. I'm going to take my view off and show my screen. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me know once you guys can see it. Should be popping up here. Ready to go back to me. Go back to me. All right. Just a moment. Okay. So what we're going to do, instead of getting to my screen, I think we're going to just do it from the presentation because it's not popping up as I expected. So what we're going to do, I want you to open your screen and then do this. So the first thing you'll do is go to your Facebook page. The first thing you want to do when you're building a Facebook page is you'll want to make sure that you pick and select the exact location. What kind of business is it? A local business, or is it a place? Is it a band? Are you a company? Are you entertainment, brand, a product, or a cause? So this is the first step, very first step when you go to facebook.com/pages/create. This is very important because how you set this up is just kind of like how you set up a LLC or anything. This is like your LLC or setup for a business. So picking a category, you'll have different features per category. So for example, the artist or band is going to have different access and different abilities than the person with the local business or place. So make sure to get the right category from the jump. Next, after you set that up, then you want to make sure you upload a photo, preferably your brand or your logo. A lot of people will try to put different things here, but you always want to keep your logo. Mind you, people, you're always branding. Your brand is never dead. It's always awake, and it's living. So you got to make sure that you have your photo of your brand. The next thing you want to have is About Us. Right here in this section is one of the most crucial sections. Anybody that wants to learn what you want to do, what you do, they want to learn in 30 seconds or less. What is this site I'm on? So this is really take some thought into what you're going to put here. And then also make sure you have a link that's posted under here, because that's going to be a prominent area for people to talk about your company, learn about your company, and they'll go to your website from this area right here. This is a 125 by 125 picture, so make sure to resize it. There's all kinds of, this is 180 by 180, and it will shrink it to 125 to 125. Okay, so make sure to have that in order. About section, as I talked about, you don't want it to be too long, 2 to 3 sentences at the max. You got to make it descriptive and let people know what you're doing. Step 3, you're going to need to have your business have your page set up as your category, so brands or products like that we talked about, and then you'll pick an even a subcategory, product or service. So if you were a magazine, then your category would be what type of magazine. So all these things are very important. Your basic setup is kind of set your foundation. Then right here, which I'll get into a little bit later, is the area where the people talk about your graph search. Well, graph search, what is graph search? It's the way of the future. I'm giving you a heads up of how things are going to happen. Just remember when search engines, well, a lot of us, at least myself, I wasn't born around the time the search engines. I don't even know when the search engines started. But I will say this, the search engines are shifting. they're now focused on social search. What's social search? It's a way for people to find stuff they're looking for through their social connections, or friends, or family members, or loved ones, or relatives. And you're going to need to have your business socially searchable. So these categories right here, a lot of people don't know about this. Make sure that your subcategories are correctly labeled. So for a recycling company like TerraCycle, it was recycling and waste management, environment, waste management, and such. For you, if you have a church or you have a ministry, you'll make sure you have the Word of God, or you'll have a church, or whatever denomination you are. You have these things, so when people search for those categories, they'll find you. And so this is very key. I can't stress enough how key this is. And the next thing you want to have is we talked about the About section. The next thing you want to have is editing your page and filling out your page correctly. Filling it out completely with all the information, all the awards, all the accolades, all the milestones, all the things that you probably don't know you can do. Do you know that you can tell the timeline of your business or ministry, when it started, how was it founded? You can talk about milestones or big events in your business, when you grew, when you gained your first customer, when you had 1,000 souls saved, whatever the case is. There's a way to put milestones on your Facebook page, and that's going to be critical for you to be able to do what you need to do. Then in here, you got to realize that you can manage roles. So obviously, as an entrepreneur, or you're a pastor, or a leader, and you may not have time to do everything in Facebook, but if you do have a team, you can assign people to a team and work together and collaborate as a team. So one of the things we'll talk about that in a second is the exact roles that you can have right here. So you can see here, this is shout out to beingencouraged.com. This is a team of us on here sorting out and managing the roles of the different aspects of Facebook. So we're all put in here as the category of manager, where we're able to manage and handle things, and we'll get the notifications and we'll receive the things that are necessary for this page. So you'll have that same access. So if you feel like you're not strong in one area, somebody that's good with stats, you can assign somebody to analyze traffic. Somebody that's good with the advertising for your Facebook campaign. You can assign somebody for Facebook advertising. You can assign people for different categories in each section. So that's important. Now this is something people don't know about. When you're starting a page from scratch, the first thing you need to do is fill up your content on your page. So when people come, it's not bare. So have, I'd say, at least a month's worth of content to fill up on that page, so people will know, hey, this is what's going on here, this is where I can learn about this or that. Very key. The next thing you'll want to do is set up your social media graphics. So you don't have to be a graphic artist, you don't even have to know much about graphics in itself. I'm not a graphic artist at all. I was able to do this graphic with the help of some different sites. So this one in particular, I used, I believe, Cover Canvas. There's Site Canvas, there's Timeline Cover, there's Banner, there's First Covers, there's Faceit Pages, Facebook Profile Covers, Cover Junction, and my personal favorite, Fiverr, Fiverr. You want to make sure to use Fiverr. I want to recommend this site. A lot of people don't know about this. You can get anything for $5. So you need somebody to design a photo or a cover image like the one I put here, go to Fiverr.com. You need somebody to help you with some analytics or create an ad for you or do a voiceover, go to Fiverr.com. It's really key. I want to answer this question from Lindsay from Voorhees. She asked, can you use a Facebook page as your website until you get one set up? Absolutely, Lindsay. You know what's great about Facebook? The one thing is that compares to a website is one-dimensional. You cannot interact with the website, most websites. You talk to a website, you can send a submit, or you can look at the pages, but you cannot interact with a website like you can with Facebook. Facebook, somebody will talk to you, somebody will respond to you, somebody will communicate back to you about whatever's going on. You can have a two-way communication with your fans, and you cannot do that with a website. So that's a great question. I would definitely have a Facebook site. If I don't have a website, I'd have at least a Facebook page. Filling up your tabs. This is so key. Filling up your tabs is important because you're able to put your tabs onto what you want. So, for example, this has a tab in the HubSpot, which is a great resource for anybody that's serious about marketing with your website. You can put like different events you have going on. You can put different marketing materials. If you want to give away a free ebook, if you want to put a link to your Twitter, you can put all that in there. And I will go over this more so in detail, probably in another webinar. There's more steps and more advanced aspects of this, so I won't touch on that too much, but it's important. So, excuse me. How to develop a social media content strategy. This is very key as well. Become a resource. I like what Gary Vaynerchuk said. He's a social media expert. He said, become a resource. Become a newspaper. Everybody needs to get into the newspaper business. Why? That seems like foolishness, right? Why would I want to get into the newspaper business? It's a fading business. Well, the reality is newspapers, yes, are dying. But you and I, as content producers and creators of content, we need to be newspapers. So your business, so for example, say you're a real estate owner, real estate agent, right? And you want to start selling real estate. Let's say I saw Voorhees, right? So Voorhees, New Jersey, and you want to be the top real estate agent in Voorhees, New Jersey. Obviously, most people are going to say, go out and make sales, go knock down doors, do all these things. That's great. That used to work very well. But I would say today, in this day and age, people don't trust a lot of things. So the way to build trust is to become a community advocate of your community in Voorhees, right? So you start your Facebook page, your Twitter, you got your social media going, become a resource. Know about all the volleyball games, know about all the basketball games, know about what's going on in the crime rate in your city. And once you become that resource, you'll be able to see how many people will come to you as the resource. So now that real estate agent is not just a real estate agent. He's become a community resource. And when somebody becomes a resource, you trust them. They're validated. And you can go back to that person. So if I'm going to go to the guy, let's just say his name is Jimmy the real estate agent who is involved in the community and knows how to build his community through knowing about the events, I'm going to trust Jimmy more than I'm going to trust Bob, who just sells his business and is talking about his business every day on social media. Buy from me. I got this house for sale. I got that house for sale. But Jimmy's been talking about his houses, but he's been talking about his community. So as he's done that, what he's done is he's been able to become a trusted friend and a trusted compadre of those in his community. And who do you think people are going to buy from? They're going to buy from the guy that understands the community, or they're going to buy from the guy that just talks about his business. So it's a key. So social media is exactly what it sounds like. It's social. It's exactly what we need to do. So I want to take a couple of answers from a couple of questions. And from Ty, yes, there will be a replay. I will be doing a replay of this. And Jonathan Rawl, can I start a blog on Facebook to be a resource for a target audience? Absolutely. You can take a blog, say start a Tumblr, and put all your Tumblr posts. Tumblr's free. I'll put that in there for you. Tumblr.com. Tumblr's free. Start a Tumblr. Start becoming a resource on Tumblr. Start talking about, I know you're in the finance industry, start talking about tips, financial wisdom, big things people can utilize, and become that resource, that go-to guy for finances. And then also have it connected to your Facebook and have your posts go onto Facebook. That way you can build an increasing audience. Make sense? Hopefully. Let's go to the next slide. Content strategy. Remember this. It's never, ever about you. It's about them. People do not buy because you have the greatest marketing strategy, you have the greatest advertisement, you have the greatest product. It's always what they want. If they don't feel you have the greatest product, if they don't think that you're trustworthy, if they don't think you deserve it, they're not going to come to you. So it's important to know that when you're on social media and even in your business, that remember that it's not about you. It never has been and never will be. Your business is not for you. Your business is for others. And your gifts are not for you. Your gifts are for others. So it's very key. And we know this in ministry as well, that your gifts are for other people. So with that in mind, take a sample of this Being Encouraged post. Somebody needs to hear this today. Something that people need to hear. Something that is inspirational. Something that inspires them to do something great. When they find that it's something for them, you care about them more than you care about yourself and your business, they're going to trust you. And you're going to be able to have more people come back to you, and you're going to be able to build a solid business and a solid ministry. I want to take another question here. With Facebook, do you feel folks should integrate with Twitter on their Facebook page, or should they keep Twitter and Facebook separate? Great question. Absolutely keep them separate. Do not link your Facebook and Twitter. The reason is this. Would you want French to come on an English page, or would you want English to come on a French page? Twitter and Facebook are two different languages, just like Instagram is a different language, and YouTube and all these networks are different languages. So when you try to put French on an English-based network, it's going to be hard for people to understand. That's the same thing that happens when you put Twitter on a Facebook network. You are merging languages. So make sure to keep those things separate, and hashtags or @ symbols, certain things don't comply on the Facebook as they do on the Twitter. So that's why it's good to keep those things separate. Okay, good. Appreciate the feedback. The next thing, let's go to the next slide. This is for content strategy. Now I want to tell you about this post. Now, remember I said it's not about you? This is some post I did for TerraCycle. It's a little hard to see. If you click the maximize, you'll be able to see it. And I call this Pinteresting content. Can I get a shout out for all of those who use Pinterest? Pinterest is a great tool. I can't say I'm the biggest fan of Pinterest, but it drives more traffic than any other social network, believe it or not. But it's still a very effective tool. So Pinterest is a great place to find content. So if you go to Pinterest and you're searching for inspiration or gardening or whatever you're looking for, and you find some interesting information, you can utilize it to post on your Facebook. So check out this. I don't think I got this from Pinterest. And actually, you know what? I did get this picture from Pinterest. That's why it's called Pinteresting content. So I found this picture on Pinterest. It's a simple picture, right? TerraCycle is a recycling company, right? People are in the environment and green, and all these things are great. So this is cartons, juice cartons, Minute Maid, or whatever you want to call it, put into a box for people to, put their soil and do their composting and their gardening. And I posted this on Facebook, and as you can see, it got 5,000 shares. 5,000, not 500, not 50, not 5,000 shares. It is very simple. It is very effective. But would I have guessed that this is something that people wanted? No. I had to research, finding easy things for people to find. Remember, going back to the principle number one, it's not about you. It's about them. This is what people want. They could care less about some of the quotes or the facts or the things that I was posting. They're wanting to find something that they could post and they could do with their own lives and go back home and try. So that's why this is so key. I want to go back to another point here, sharing business or ministry tips. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I want to answer a question from Ty. Which WordPress plugin do you recommend for posting to your blog and having it go to Facebook, Twitter, Google+, etc.? Great question, Ty. Well, I would say it's actually not a WordPress plugin that I would recommend. It's something that's effective, but it's not necessarily within WordPress. It's called Delivereit, and it is phenomenal. I'm going to put that in here for you because it's spelled a little different. Delivereit will automatically, any post from your WordPress blog will go to your Facebook, will go to your Twitter, will go to your Google+, and directly stream back to wherever you want it, and it does it instantaneously. Sometimes I forget. I look at a post that say I've done for Being Encouraged, and I'll go on Twitter. I was like, how did I? Oh yeah, Delivereit did that. So that's a great tool. Glad it can be helpful. So this tip here: share business and ministry tips. I know some of you are in health. Shout out to Sonia, who's in health. Shayun, who's in health. Ty, who's in finance. Shayun, who's in marketing. Share your knowledge. You all have a wealth of knowledge that you probably don't realize people don't know. there is a lot of information, like even this webinar that I'm doing now. I was told to do this many times, but I was like, everybody should know this stuff. Why should I even do this? But I realized not everybody does know how to do this stuff. So let me go to Shane's question. Did I forget your question, Shane, or is that? Oh, that's from earlier. Or is there another question that I forgot? Let's see here. Where did Facebook? Okay, I did answer it. Sorry. So you have a wealth of knowledge. Convert those things into tips. Like this example. You know, this was a tip somebody was sharing about morning habits of successful entrepreneurs. They start their day early. Simple enough, but some people don't know these things, believe it or not. Some people don't realize that your information is valuable, and you don't know that it's valuable until you start sharing it. So for purposes of time, I'm going to keep going. Now back to ministry a little bit. And this applies to business as well. It's so simple, but people forget to do this. Ask people to like, share, or comment. Tell them to do it. People are more likely to do something when you tell them what to do. If you just say, I have this business here that I'm doing, and I'm in finances and financial industry, and I want people to know about what I'm doing. Here's a link. But I didn't tell them to click it. Believe it or not, you not telling people to click it is very detrimental for them clicking it. So telling people to click, telling people to like, telling people to share, telling people to comment, do all those things. Look at this post right here that was used for ministry. Signed Jesus, like and write yes. Is there a place for me on your Facebook wall? Write yes, like, and share. This guy's using a very simple strategy. You could do the same thing. Is there a place for my health product in your life? Or I'm just throwing out an example. But he used it for ministry, and he got 6,979 shares, 12,000 likes, and I'm sure thousands of comments. So I see, Michelle, do you have a question? I see you said, hey, David, but let me know if you have a question. I'll be glad to answer it. So liking, sharing, and commenting are very key for Facebook, and if you can let people know that you want them to like, you want them to share, you want them to comment, you want them to click, that simple increases the amount of clicks you'll be getting or traffic you'll be getting just by doing that. Use video. It's so simple. People hate reading. I've seen it myself. I know myself. You know, sometimes you see an article that's 2 or 3 pages long, and you're like, I don't want to read this right now. So the reason is we're naturally, as a society, we want information very quickly, and we want it now, and we want it in the laziest way possible. What is the laziest way to consume information? It's video. Video doesn't take much effort. All you have to do is watch and listen. And so if you have a video, it doesn't have to, you can do an Instagram video, 15 seconds. You can do a short YouTube video, 30 seconds. And remember this, the attention span of people is very short, so you want to keep it on the shorter end. I've actually heard a stat that people lose their attention span within 7 seconds in the millennial generation, believe it or not. So having videos is very key. We got another question here. Tatiana and Ben from Philadelphia. Do you recommend paying Facebook to display ads for your business or ministry? Very good question. I'm actually going to do a training on this later on. I highly recommend Facebook ads now. The game has changed. Facebook used to have I'll break it down. They have an algorithm, which means that they have a calculation of which content gets shared. So if you're looking on your Facebook and you're talking, right, and you got your friends, your feed, and you're looking at your feed, the people that are on your feed the most are the ones that you either clicked, liked, or shared, or they're people who've paid for it, or they're people that you communicate with a lot on Facebook. Have you noticed that? So you have 1,000 friends. The ratio is about, I believe, 15% that you'll see. You'll only see 15% of the content from your friends and family. So, and if you're a business, it's less. So as a business, or ministry, you must start to get into Facebook ads. And I'm actually going to do a training. I know ways where you can get, I believe, thousands of fans without paying much for than $60 to $70. And this is some proven strategies on how you can spend less money and get a really great increase in your fan base. So, great question. I highly recommend using Facebook ads, and if you need help with that, I will be doing another webinar, and I will focus on Facebook advertising. Humor. Humor and inspiration are the two top things that people love to share. You notice if you look through your wall, it's either inspiration, that's getting quotes and inspirational messages and words of wisdom and scriptures are the things that people are going to share, and humor. People laughing, people dancing, people falling. That's the stuff that people want to share. I mean, people mostly want to hear this type of information. So if you consider that, you want to put that into your strategy. Have content, talk about your business, of course, or your ministry, but infuse humor, infuse inspiration. It doesn't matter what your business is. Everybody can use a laugh, and everybody can use some inspiration. So make sure to infuse that into your strategy. What is the purpose of your page? This is so important. Do you know what your page is geared to do? First, establish what is my page going to be used for. Am I going to use it for sales? Am I going to use it for ministry? Am I going to use it for web traffic? Am I going to use it for email gathering? Am I going to use it for awareness? You need to know this before you start your page, because if you don't, it can really hurt you because you won't know what you're doing it for. And I think that having that established from the beginning will tailor how you set your page up. So, for example, if you know it's for sales, you're going to have products in your tabs, Facebook tabs. You know it's for ministry. You know you're going to have a lot of graphics made that are just ready to inspire people and minister to people, videos and all these things. You know you're just going for web traffic. You're going to need to know how to get advertising that drives people away from your Facebook page and onto your website. Because let's be honest, to get a share, to get a like, to get a comment, those things are great. But if it doesn't drive people to do anything, what is it for? You want to make sure that people are going to your website. You want to make sure people are going to get your emails or whatever you have, whatever your end goal is. So I can't stress this enough. This is highly critical to understand, knowing what your page and the purpose of your page is. So the next thing, I wanted to go over some do's and don'ts, but I think we're running out of time. But I'm going to run through these rapid fire. See some big don'ts for Facebook. Don't make every post promotional. Don't post too frequently. Have at least 2 hours before each post. Don't ignore or delete complaints. Don't link your Facebook page and Twitter accounts together. We talked about that. Great question. Don't post more than 3 times in a day. Don't break Facebook's contest rules. And don't focus too much on likes. Don't use too much text on posts. Don't take advantage of tragic events. Believe it or not, you still have to say things like this because there are people that don't understand you cannot utilize tragic events to promote your business. For example, Kenneth Cole, a very famous fashion designer, when the riots were happening in Cairo, decided we're going to take this trending topic that was, I think it was riots in Cairo, right? Was a trending topic. So they decided we're going to talk about how the riots are going. They didn't even realize and research the topic. So basically they said, have you heard what happened in Cairo? There's riots over our Kenneth Cole bags. Epic fail. You should never do that. They didn't realize to research enough that the trending topic wasn't about Cairo or Egypt being good. It was about a riot, a tragic event that happened. So it's important. Don't utilize hashtags unless you know what they're for. And don't just post without a plan. We talked about having a plan. I'm going to skip these for now. Some tips to help you grow with your strategies for Facebook. First, number one thing, consistency. Being consistent is the number one way any medium succeeds. Your favorite TV show, your favorite basketball team, your favorite football team, your favorite ministry, your favorite actor, lawyer, dancer, whatever it is, that person or business or ministry is consistent. They're consistently providing good content, or they're consistently providing good service, or consistently providing a good product. Whatever that thing is, they are making sure that consistency is key. So it's the same with your page. And it is not easy to remain consistent. But if you're going to be consistent, be consistent. It's better to be consistently average than to be inconsistently great. I'm going to say that again. It's better to be consistently average than to be inconsistently great. So have your content be consistent. If you post once a day, post once a day, every day. If you post 2 times a day, post 2 times a day, every day. Do these things and make people aware of what you're doing consistently with your consistency. Make sense? Hopefully makes sense. The next slide. Probably wondering why I have this email put up here. Well, I'm going to put another tool in here just for you, and not a lot of people know about this. It's a little secret tool that a lot of people don't know about, and it's called WiseStamp. What is WiseStamp? WiseStamp allows you to do what I have here that you see in my thing here. You see with service David Simons and my email signature, digital media manager, TerraCycle, and then it has TerraCycle's profiles, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. All those profiles are there, right? And so when somebody, any email, how many emails do you guys send a day in your business or your ministry? You probably send a lot of emails. Imagine sending every email with your social presence in each email. That's what you want to do. You want to make sure that people know about your business or your ministry. And the way to do that is going to WiseStamp, setting it up. It's free. That's the beautiful thing about it. It's completely free. I have it on everything I can for my emails. I have it in my Kingdom Business email. I have it in Being Encouraged. I have it in TerraCycle. Every business and organization I'm involved in, I make sure that I have social profiles at the bottom, because you never know. Somebody is going to click it and want to learn about your business and ministry. Now, this is key. A lot of people don't realize you can do this, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. When you're starting off and you're building your page from scratch, that's the toughest part, to get that first 100, that first 500, 600, 700, 800, 1,000, whatever. You want to make sure that people know about your business So what you can do is Facebook gives you the ability to invite people. So I'm sure you've been invited plenty of times to like a bunch of Facebook pages, right? Maybe you like some, maybe you don't like some, however you do it. You want to make sure that when you establish your page, that you have your Facebook page set up. So as you have a page set up, it'll have this invite button so you got to make sure that you're logged in as yourself, but not on your page. What I mean is you're logged into your personal, but you're looking at your business page, and then you'll be able to see this. And then what you can do is start inviting all your friends. But everybody knows to do that, right? This is what everybody doesn't know to do. Invite all your friends, and then tell your friends, please invite your friends. So tell them to go to your page and invite, and give them an incentive. Hey, if you can invite 100 of your friends, we'll give you our first product for free, or our first service. You'll be my first client. I'll give you an analysis of your business. If you're in ministry, hey, I know it's kind of hard in ministry to do that, but whatever category you can, whatever service you can provide, offer something, an informational product, something that you have, a blog, a white paper, whatever you can. But encourage your friends. And how many friends do you have that are on Facebook? Well, they have a network that you probably don't have. So we did this for Being Encouraged. So the team of 4 of us, we each went to our friends and invited our friends, right? And they were able to see our invites and invite people. So that's what you want to do. That's a strategy you can do from the very beginning. And I guarantee you can have 100 fans within a day if you really follow this. So a lot of times people hear this content that I'm sharing and they don't do anything with it. I really am pushing you to put this into action. Don't just sit on this information. This is very valuable information. Like the late Maya Angelou says, nothing works until you do. So you got to work this thing. So some do's. We went over the don'ts earlier. I want to go over the do's. We talked about a couple of these. Asking for calls to action. Being consistent. Post at the most high volume times. 9, 12, 3, 6. Why 9, 12, 3, 6? 9 a.m. people come into work. They check their Facebook. 12 p.m. they're on their lunch break. They're checking their Facebook. 3 p.m. they're on a break. They're checking their Facebook. 6 p.m. they're leaving work. Let me check my Facebook before I get home. So a lot of people don't think about what times to post content. These are high volume times. I'm not saying these are the only times, but these are key times to post your content. Use images. Images are what people want to read. They don't want to read a bunch of text. They want to see things. People are visual, so they want to see your visual information. Get graphics created. I talked about a couple of sites. Now I'm giving you a bunch of freebies. A lot of sites that are so critical. Canva.com. That is an awesome site for creating graphics. You don't need to have any graphic skills. coding skills, whatever. You don't need any of that. All you need to know is what you want. If you know you want blue, you want red, you want flowers, you want lilies, whatever you want, you can put it on the Canva.com and create that. I actually created the Facebook graphic that I used for this webinar by Canva. So that's important. Always check some of this information. Always use link shorteners. So this is a way to track how many people are clicking your link. We use this for articles when we write for Being Encouraged, and you can do this for your business or your blog. Bitly.com. That's a very important site to have. You can track so much information. I wish I had time to go in depth under Bitly and how much I love using Bitly. Posting interesting content. We talked about this. Tips, jokes, facts, information that will humor people and inspire people. And check your Facebook insights. And even post content on weekends. Well, how can you post content on weekends? You have a lot of people like yourselves, have jobs or have businesses, and you don't have time to manage all this Facebook stuff, all this Twitter stuff. You want something to help you do that? I recommend Hootsuite.com. That's a great site. Like I told you, I was featured in Hootsuite because it's a social media dashboard, and it's a great site for managing all your content and getting your message out there. Imagine being able to schedule for weeks or even months on end what you're going to post and what you're going to have on there. So do that, get that. It's free as well. So Bitly is free as well. I want to note that everything I'm recommending you is free. So there's some tools here. I'm giving you, and if you want to copy this presentation, please let me know. I will give you all these tools that are in here. These are some programs to create your own graphics. I gave you a couple, but there's more. There's PicMonkey. There's BeFunky.com. There's Picadillo. There's PhotoCat. There's Pixlr. I gave you a bunch. There's a bunch in here. So let me know in the box, and what I will do is I'll send that out. Just let me know, like Lindsay has. Yes, please. I got you, Lindsay. I'm gonna take care of you. Make sure you get all these things. Manage filter to manage filters, and you can free up your time, like I talked about. Hootsuite. There's Facebook Graph Search. We talked about that a little bit. I didn't want to go too in depth on that. There's tools for relationship building. Commune.it. This is mainly for Twitter. Buffer. You may. Okay, I got you, Emmanuel. You said you wanted it as well. Commune.it. That's a great tool for your community, especially for Twitter. Feedly. A lot of you may know about feeds and things like that, so that's important. Delivereit. I actually talked about earlier. Delivereit.it. Post Planner. BuzzSumo. BuzzStream. Zapier. I mean, there's so much information. I got you as well, Brandon. So this is some tools that will help you, I guarantee you, and will be very effective to help your business or ministry. I'm giving you even more tools. Like I told you, a lot of the tools I'm recommending are free. Google AdWords, Open Site Explorer, tools for creating content. Canva, I already recommended to you. Sparkle, Pinstomatic, that's for Pinterest. People don't know about that one. There's Pinstomatic. Tools for analyzing, Google Analytics, Tailwind, Twitterland. Some proven social media strategies. For efforts of time, I wanted to leave a couple of minutes to take care of some questions. Yes, actually, that is Ty asked a great question, and he is right. So, in order for you to, for me to be able to send you the information, I want you to do this for me. Just go to KingdomBizSolutions.com. Sign up at KingdomBizSolutions.com, and that will take you to my site, and where I'm giving all of you who came to this webinar today, you get a social media plan. I want to show you the social media plan in a second as well. You're going to get a social media plan, a template that will show you everything that will what you need to use to market yourself and help build a strategy. And I want to give 5 minutes for some questions before I show that. So any questions you have, it doesn't matter if it's Facebook, Twitter, you're having any business problems. I'm a consultant to a lot of business owners and ministry leaders, so I'd be glad to answer any questions you have about Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. So I'll give a second for that. If you have a question, feel free to type it in the box. And while we're waiting for a question, I will get the Excel sheet to show you, so you know what you're getting with this information that I'm sending you. Okay, let me pull that up for you. Oh, and another tool, if I'd be remiss if I didn't share one of my favorite tools. This is not just for social media, but it is for business as a whole. As you being a business owner, you want to have a tool called Evernote. If you don't have Evernote, you don't know what Evernote is, please go get Evernote. I'm going to write it down as well and make sure that you get it. Okay. Just a second here. 2014. Okay. So I am pulling this up here. Well, you know what? Better yet, I won't show you the document. I'd rather have you go look at what it is. So, thank you. I see a couple of questions. So I'm going to put this here, Evernote.com. So I just have a couple of quick questions for you guys. If you found this valuable, please let me know. And if you would like to see more webinars like this and more topics to cover, please let me know. You'll be able to go to you can either send me the email through Kingdom Biz Solutions through the site, go to my site, and communicate there, or you can share in the poll here if there is information that you want to learn more about, or things that you wanted me to discuss that I didn't discuss. Okay, I got a question here. I'll take from Ty. Is it worth it to create our own infographics or to hire someone to make graphics consistent across Facebook, YouTube, etc.? Great question. Great question. I think infographics are very tough because if you want it to be done right, and it is time consuming, and I think that the best way is to have people do it for you. But if you can't afford, it is expensive, I'm going to recommend here a site for you as well that you can get your own infographics made. It's going to take you a little time to put in some information, but it's still very valuable. PictoChart, that's a resource for doing that. I've used before, but I do recommend, if you do have the money, it's worth it to get somebody to do it for you. And once again, Fiverr. But if you want to go through somebody that's more experienced in the Fiverr, will charge you to $5. But you can have some other sites. I'm going to give you another site here as well that is good for your for creating infographics. And I believe those two are the top ones that I recommend. But yes, to answer your question again, if you don't have too much of a budget for it, you can use one of these sites. And if you do have a budget for it, I highly recommend hiring somebody, because it can really infographics can catapult your business to the next level. Any other questions? Okay, I want to keep the time. I thank you, and I honor each of you, and I thank you for all coming out. I love to give shout outs, so I just want to give a shout out to Aaron, a shout out to Brandon Floyd, a shout out to Emmanuel, shout out to Awula, my cousin, shout out to Hubert, shout out to Jay Church, shout out to Jonathan Raw, shout out to Lindsay, shout out to Michelle, appreciate you, shout out to Nana, shout out to TP, aka TP, shout out to Perseus. Good to get you on there. Shout out to Sonia. Appreciate you, sis. Shout out to Tatiana and Ben. Shout out to Ty. And if you ever have any needs or questions or concerns, like I said, I am available as a resource. As I preach, I live what I preach. I want to be a resource to you. If you need help, let me know. There's the site, KingdomBizSolutions.com. All right. Well, thank you all. This concludes the webinar, and like I said, I'd be glad to be of service. Thank you all for the nice words of inspiration and wisdom, and I will be recording this and be able to send this out to you. All right. God bless you all. Have an awesome evening, and go out there and increase your business and increase your ministry. And if you need help, you know where to call or reach. God bless you both. And God bless you all.